Hi guys, I'm live. How you guys doing? I just thought I would go live because I need to change strings, or at least want to change strings. I think I need to on my white JEM guitar. It's the one and I just figured, well, that a lot of talk about my channel and everything, and I just thought maybe I'll take a step back, or maybe even a step forward, whichever way you want to look at it, and just go live just with me doing some mundane thing like changing strings. I haven't done that in a while. People used to like, and I still do this, but I just haven't done it in a while. The way I interact with the audience when I would play, and now I just mainly play. But that doesn't mean I don't like interacting. So this time I'm not playing. I'm just changing strings, but I'll do it in front of you guys. So I'll chat while I change strings on my guitar. How about that? Um, just thought I'd interact with you guys a little and take a chill pill, take a step back and just chill. And right now I'm not shredding on guitar, but I'm changing strings on a guitar, so music is still involved, and I'll just chat with you guys a little bit. Caretaker Grady said, "Prove it that your mom died, Jim." Who is this dude? But anyway, this is what one thing my mom left for me. First, she left for me. This is my dad's wedding ring. I guess I have it around my neck. It's hard to see when it's around my neck. So let me introduce a couple things that my mom left me when she died, or at least I claim she died. LOL. Fortunately, you've seen these. These are my dad's Navy tags. These are his Navy tags. There's two of them. Then this is his Illuminati ring. It was getting hard to wear them all the time, and I just didn't like the feeling of it on my fingers. And then this is his wedding ring. My mom just left me. This is my dad's wedding ring, gold also. So rather than wear them on my fingers, which I just, after a while, I don't like. We weren't born with rings around our fingers. It's kind of and to live with rings constantly on my fingers. I don't know if eventually I think, well, let me just go back to having fingers. Well, I still have fingers. I don't know. I just like them to be natural, So, and this is a necklace. I wear them around, but this is another thing my mom left for me that she had. If she really died, or I just made all this up because for some reason I just want you guys to, whatever I might gain from you thinking my mom died, and whatever. This is his Lockheed Martin SR-71 gold pen. I think he wore it in his work. This is a little gold replica of the SR-71 Blackbird designed by Kelly Johnson and Skunk Works. My dad was instrumental in designing black box recorders. He knew what that entails, or you can ask me, but I don't know. I can't answer because it's all top secret. My dad couldn't talk about his work ever. He didn't talk about his Navy stuff. He didn't talk about his Illuminati stuff, and he didn't talk about his work. But this is a Lockheed Martin replica, gold replica of an SR-71 Blackbird, and I wear it I wear it most days. Most days I try to remember on my shirt when I walk. I guess I do have a shirt when I walk. I put it on the left side above the pocket if it has one, or in the same area if it doesn't. I just figured how to use these. You squeeze them first and stick them in. You don't try to push it in. That defeats the purpose. Why can't it go in? Well, if it can go in, it can go out, and it would stick you. But you squeeze it till it goes in, and then you let it go, and then it sticks on there. So I wear this on my shirt, when I walk a lot of the time, and I'm wearing it for you guys. So it's funny. I don't know how. I'm not an expert on hating, but it's funny how there was no more kid I knew that was more contentious relationship with his dad than me and my dad, and yet I ended up respecting him. And now I wear three things. Well, actually four. I wear his Navy. I wear his SEAL tags. I wear his Illuminati ring. I wear his wedding ring, and I wear his work emblem, whatever this is, around all the time. And how many kids growing up with their feel-good dads that just gave them all the candy they wanted to eat and all the cookies they wanted, and go see Van Halen, go take drugs. How many of them even care about their dad right now? But it's funny, right? Maybe someday Caretaker Grady will remember the great Jimmie Wiseman after he's, I don't know, whatever. I'm just rambling. So I use 9 to 42 gauge. And rather than just sit here continuing to talk, let's actually change the strings. So I have a little. I have this container. It has a lot of my string stuff. You know, like it has. I use dikes to cut the strings with. I use a string winder, and you need Allen wrenches, which are notoriously hard to find. Once you have them, keep them and don't lose them because they're hard to get, especially single Allen wrenches. They don't seem to want to sell these. I don't know why. Is there some kind of a, I don't know, whatever. They're hard to find. They're hard to get. You usually have to buy a whole set, and then they're really cumbersome. But you just want a single 3 millimeter metric, because meters are metric. You know, Allen wrench just to do your guitars. And it works for almost all the Allen wrench things on guitar are 3 millimeter. They use that. Either that or it's going to be screwdrivers and things like that. The truss rod though is bigger than that. I'm not sure. If it depends on the guitar for the truss rod or if they're all a certain gauge. But the truss rod ones, I have one here, are thicker and they're more millimeters. I don't know. I guess no more millimeters means thicker. So let's just start. I open the pack of strings. I usually start stringing the high string first for some reason. I just think I don't know if that's a good idea. Maybe I'll switch that right now. No, I like this high string first. So since they always give you the thick string on top, I reverse the order. 42, slapping them down. 100, 200. I love that song, Blue Sky by U2. Bono was great. Is great. Was great. Is great. I start with the high E. So now I put it on the 9 string next. And I start stringing it up. You have to take the strings off first and then string them, put them back, put the new ones on. This guitar, I love the sound of this and everything, but the strings are so bad on here, it's starting to sound bad. So that means I need new strings. And as for tuning, I tune my black JEM guitar to E flat. I tune my pink JEM guitar to E flat, and I tune the white one of all things to D. I don't have any guitar tuned to E anymore. It was E, and E flat, but they all slunk down a half step. Now it's E flat, and D. And my black E acoustic guitar just where it needs to at the time. Let's get on with this. You have to cut the string, take it off. It's Van Halen. It's 2 for Halen Saturdays coming up in just a minute here. I mean, I have to do that too. I can't just string this and that's not, you know, the 2 for Halen is coming up. I don't know if I tell you what I'm going to do. I think I'll just surprise you. But I have 2 Van Halen songs I'm going to do in a minute here. I'll surprise you. That's not. Ow, Jesus. Oh, I thought I don't like Jesus. LOL. Well, I got stuck, and that's what I thought of. I got stuck with a metal thing, and the first thing that I thought of was Jesus. Okay. I actually need a trash thing to put these in because if you just lay them around the house, it's not a good idea. But since I don't have a trash bag, I'm going to just borrow a hefty bag here. It's going to be a temporary trash bag. I hope for now it'll have to do. So actually, that's a good idea. It keeps it. Trash bags are really stupid. Things fall out of them. But that's a good idea. Get a Ziploc bag to put your trash in, so it doesn't just fly out of the trash. Next thing you're stepping on wires, you know. Okay, so I'm going to start with the high E string. I'm taking it off to put a new one on. Yeah, it's funny how all the hate that I had for my dad ultimately transformed into respect. I respect him. He you know, hate. I don't even know what hate really is. Is hate just, if hate's an emotion, then it has to be expressed like anything else, you know. If hate is actually an emotion, it can't be repressed, or it's just going to come out in worse ways, you know. At least, you know, if I don't know, I'm just talking. Okay, I'm trying to get this to unloose here. Counterclockwise is Lucy, and right is tighty. Righty tighty, lefty loosely. I'm trying to get this undone here. Oh, the string is kind of stuck in there a little bit. Let's try to get it unstuck. And I want to thank the moderator for being my editor. He is my editor now. He's not my manager. He was my manager on my account, but I don't know. I just thought that maybe making him an editor makes me feel more comfortable. But he is an editor, and he's taken out a lot of nonsense comments from my channel, which I want to thank you for, moderator. I don't have time to do that, but he does. And I mean, not that he has time. It's just that I literally don't I just don't have I just don't have the mindset to be able to do that, to go through and take out bad comments. So he does, and thank you, moderator. And by the way, all my pedals are right in front of me. I have a string to change here, but I have my Digitech whammy pedal as first. Someone suggested that be first in the chain, and it is. Thank you for that idea. Yes, I do care what good advice comes my way. Second is my wah pedal. It's a crybaby. Third is my Raderator. That's the great Raderator. And then fourth is my drum machine, or drum pedal, whatever it's called. It's a cool thing. And then I have a daisy chain to plug them all in, so I don't need to use batteries that just die, and then you have to I just use a daisy chain to plug them all into the actual, current circuit, or plug into the wall, or whatever you do to get, power for them. Okay, so now I take the end of this off and just flip it. It goes in the trash. The end, not the string. Yeah, I'm excited about my new series, the Friday Jack, the Friday Jesus against Christ. I'm against Christ in many ways, but in other ways I'm not. Go figure, right? I mean, why can't that just be a one-cell organism that only thinks one way? Jesus himself, the man, had really cool things about him, and the way he lived was cool. A lot of it, the way he wouldn't return evil for evil, and the way he would turn the other cheek, and the way he would. If someone offers you your jacket, give them your coat too, or whatever that, and then he hung on the cross. If this is what happened, he hung on the cross and could have called angels, thousands of them, to rescue him, and didn't. He didn't do that, which is really badass. But that doesn't mean that everything about him I have to like and agree with and fall in line and worship him and do what everybody else says and does and thinks and whatever. Now suddenly counsel people which are no more like Jesus than me get to tell me in the year AD 325 and in a certain Council of Nicaea and the Council of Trent and all these things. Now because Jesus was great, I've got to do what the rulers that be in this planet want me to do about that, right? No, I do what I want. I have free will, not will, not mandatory. I must do this. I don't do that. Jesus wouldn't have done that. I don't think Jesus would have been what. Steve Vai has a lyric in one of his songs. It's called "Alive in an Altered World." It's from 2001 album. It goes, I can't believe all the blood is shed from religion and its politics. I can't speak for God, but I bet he's got nothing to do with it. That's brilliant. Steve Vai wrote that lyric. Jesus didn't fight a war for Christianity. He wouldn't. Did he kill anyone because they didn't believe in him? But now we can't be good Christians unless we do that. Now I'm a good Christian because I go kill an Arab. But would Jesus have done that, or is that someone else or myself telling me to do that? Go to war I still have free will. And I choose to use my mind to decide what I believe is true, not just what was taught to me. Because I don't trust someone just because someone has the right or the might to teach you something doesn't make what they're saying true. The Boreans in the scriptures searched the scriptures. They didn't just take anybody's word for it, and that's where I get a lot of where I come from. I just searched knowledge and used my mind and led to the thought of what I believe. And I'm against Jesus as far as what he's done to this world. Not directly, because he's not even here. course, Jesus hasn't personally hated me in person like someone said. I guess Jimmie's a hater. Well, are you saying hate is bad? Then you're a hater of me. So where does it end? You know, if I'm bad for hating Jesus, you're bad for hating me, but you're not bad for hating me. I'm bad for hating Jesus. So your hate is good. My hate is bad, but a lot of logical entanglements there that don't make good arguments. Okay, so where's my things? I just had them here. My clippy things. They're right here. Anyway, and plus, if you have the right to hate me, I have the right to hate Jesus. If I'm really hating Jesus, well, that's my right. Because you love him or everyone else loves him, I can't hate him? No. If you can hate me, I can hate Jesus. I can't stop you from hating me. You can't stop me from hating Jesus. So what are you going to do about it? Even if I am hating Jesus, do something about it. Okay, thought so. Anyway, it has to go under here, not above here. There we go. That's better. Love it. Yeah, that string sounds so much better than the older ones already because it's newer string, you know? Okay. All right. First string is on, but not tuned. Oh, at least not. Yeah. At least, well, you know what I mean. It's tuned to something. It's just not tuned correctly, and it's not tuned to all the other strings. But even just having a sound means your guitar is tuned. It's just, is it tuned correctly or not? Everything that has a pitch has a tune. All right. I think it does. Okay, this comes off. It's cut. It's the second string now. It's 11 gauge string. I have so many guitars that I can't change the strings on them all the time and keep them all fresh. But when they really go bad, like this white one has, then I go, wait a minute, I need to change strings. That's what happened here. Probably should have taken, I'm going to watch that string to make sure nothing happens to it. I probably should have taken this string off before I got the other one out. But it's okay. As long as I don't let anything happen to it badly, I can do this. Okay. Second string needs to get cut. Where's my dikes again? I have only a few things my dad said about his work with the SR-71. I mean, he said, this guy could keep a secret like nobody's business. I mean, he said so little in 17 years of growing up with him. But one thing he did say, well, he said a couple things. I'll tell you what he said. Is that okay? Is that okay, everybody? If I say what the very little I know from what my dad said about working with the SR-71 Blackbird, he said he said that the official speed of the SR-71 Blackbird is Mach 3 plus, but he said that he laughed at that. He literally laughed. He would laugh at that when he would read that. He would just smile and laugh to himself because he knew how fast it really went, and it was so much faster than Mach 3. It just made him laugh. He couldn't keep it in sometimes. He said he would say something about them trying to shoot down an SR-71 with a SAM, surface-to-air missile, the Russians had. And he said the SR-71 would just blow away and just outrun it. He could go faster than a SAM. And I looked up in the Encyclopedia Britannica, which is all I had for internet equivalent growing up. And I looked up SAM, surface-to-air missile, and how fast they go. So because I figured an SR-71 has to go faster than that, or it couldn't outrun it. Logic, right? So guess how fast the Encyclopedia Britannica said that a SAM travels in 1983 when I looked this up, or whatever year, around that year, 15,000 miles an hour. That's Mach. Oh God, that's like, Mach is like 600, speed of sound is like 600 and something miles an hour. So Mach 15,000 would be like Mach 20. And the Blackbird's faster than that to outrun it. So I figured the Blackbird probably goes Mach 25, Mach 30, something like that. But basically 10 times, essentially, what the official, speed of the plane is according to the released information. But I never got my dad to say how fast. I said, "Why does it matter, Dad? Who cares how fast? Why does it matter if they know how fast?" He Riley said, Well, if they know how fast it is, they can calculate for that, and they can shoot it down even if they can't outrun it. The mystery is part of the deal. If they know how fast it is, they can just figure that in and shoot ahead of themselves, and somehow trap it in its own ilk, because they would know more. They would know how fast it can go. They could say, my dad, I'm just thinking this out myself. They could say, let's fire something at it and make it go as fast as it can. And then if we know how fast that is, let's go predict something. It'll be this point. It'll be here at this particular point at this particular time. And let's have a bomb ready for it right there. And then sure enough, it blows up. And they didn't have to outrun it. They just had to know how fast it could go. So that's a secret, how fast it could go. So I learned that from him. And then he would say things like, I went to lunch in Maine today. Well, we live in California. Maine's like the 3,000 miles away. And he mentioned going to lunch in Maine, being flown on the SR-71 to Maine for lunch, 3,000 miles away, and probably back to California for the rest of the workday. That's pretty fast, don't you think? Well, and then the last thing he said, I'll make it 3 things here. Sum up what he would say about it over the years. He said that, Jimmie, you know what? When I would do tapes for my music, and I had I would have tape recorder heads. Part of the tape machine that reads get dirty, and my dad, I would say, should I buy a tape cleaner cassette, Dad, and use that to clean my heads for my cassette player? You know what he said? He said, no, just use Q-tips and rubbing oil. Rubbing alcohol with Q-tips. That's how we clean the heads on the flight recorders for the SR-71 Blackbird. And that's how I always clean the heads on my tape players, and I never got them scratched or worn out because I never used tape cleaning cassettes that just wear down the heads basically to clean them. And over the years, I found out that that's accurate information, what he said. Well, I believe him anyway, but I've been at places where people know stuff about those kind of things, and I'll say that my dad said that, and they'll say, how did you know that? How do you know that? What? How do you know that? Like, it validates my story, because how else would I know that that's how they clean the heads for the black boxes for the SR-71 Blackbird? It's soft evidence that I'm telling the truth about my dad, in other words. And how did I know that? Well, my dad said so, and he worked on them. Okay, thank you. Okay, second string is on. Hope this isn't boring, you guys. Hope you guys, like, if nobody watches it, I'm sorry. And maybe there's always delete. There's always, I respect, what you're, you guys, if you guys like video, I'll promote it more. And if you guys don't, sometimes I delete things that just don't get watched. That's logical, right? If he doesn't like it on there, that's fine. I can always delete stuff. And I delete my outtakes from my songs. If I make a mistake, I can't. I have to go live. I can't just record it on my phone perfectly and then suddenly put it on there after I've perfected it. I go live, so I have to do it in one take. And if I make an outtake, I have to delete it. It's not like what else would you want me to do? To leave my outtake? I have to. Oh, I messed that up, and I'll delete it. Some people probably come behind me and record all that and put it on all these other sites where it mocks my failures and my mistakes. But I guess that's the price you pay for going live. And someone's going to do that. There's always a hacker. There's always a hater. There's always a what other H word would there be? Hacker, hater. I don't know. That's all right. It's all good. I know. I laugh at it too when I see it. It's funny. I'm funny when I make a mistake. Or when I get emotional about David Lee Roth. There's genuinity there, but it's not just emotion about David Lee Roth the man. It's his music, how great Van Halen was, and how sad I am at the loss of what we had in the 80s when that music was ruling the earth. It's all one thing. It's not just I'm sad because I'm in love with David Lee Roth or some crap. It's what he meant to me in the world, and what rock and roll meant, and what Van Halen did for the world. That's the emotion. That's what comes out of me. And then people take that and publicize it and make me look like a fool. And maybe I'm a fool, but whatever. and to her, but they do it to hurt me, you know, to make fun of me, and I look at it and go, well, okay, whatever, do your thing, publicize it, make me a mockery. I don't know, what am I supposed to say? And you know, actually showing emotions is actually healthy, and from what I've understood, it's people that hold their emotions in that eventually go nuts. It's letting out emotions important for health, mental, emotional. Not saying I'm the perfect model of that. When I'll cry at the drop of a dime. It's one of my blues lyrics. I think the lyric goes, well, you've heard it. If you haven't, well, maybe I'll put it in Blues for Tuesday next Tuesday. I'm sorry I didn't do Blues for Tuesday this Tuesday. I didn't have a chance. My phone was upgrading / uploading. So, because I just did. You know, it did. It had to reload because something got changed for the better, but it had to reboot because of that. So for a few days it was out of commission, kind of. I almost thought would never be able to use it again for recording, but it came back into online when it finally rebooted everything. It came back up, and now I have my phone again, obviously, because that's what I'm recording on now. But it taught me that I can record and taught me that, you know, that I know how to record on my computer if I have to, because I had to. It's not, you know, it actually, Matter says to do it on the computer all the time, but that's very cumbersome. I always have to log in, I always have to have the computer, and I can drop it and all kind. I just, too much. But thanks for the suggestion, but I just like my phone. I mean, what, you know, it just, it's more time and space efficient. Anyway. Okay, I'm on the third string now, the G string, or in my case would be the F string because I tuned down to D, which would make the G and F. But we don't do that. We don't say whatever pitch we're tuned to. We say the pitch that's supposed to be. It's easier for shorthand. Like if you tuned it, if something is in E flat, it's still read as in E. It just says tune down half step. Okay. Or tune down whole step or tune whatever. You still have the bottom string is always called an E, even if you're tuned to C sharp. It's always called the note it should be. Oh, I'm very. I have of San Nanabushi with guitar, Cadenza by Steve Vai. That sucker's a bear. I mean, people talk about what do you call it? Crossroads being a bear, and they talk about, and I even tooted the horn of Big Trouble from Eat 'Em and Smile. I think it's the 8th song on Eat 'Em and Smile. 10 songs on the album. But this cadenza is Judith. This has every trick he has in the book almost, and for his soloing in it, and it's really a tough. And plus, you just can't learn the notes of the solo. You have to learn the chords and what he's playing over, so you know what to make sense of it. It's not just this. It's not an a cappella completely cadenza. He's got chords behind it that make harmonies that he's playing against. It's almost like a song, but yet here's the solo is the lead part to the song. It's like a song solo, which is very interesting and intricate to me. I love that piece. Do you want to hear about it? I'll do a lesson about it. I'll do Hump Day Lesson Day about that solo. I'll make a lesson of it. So, and I almost want to spill the beans now, but maybe I will a little bit. But I'll do a lesson on that. And plus, I made a mistake. It was, you know, small or not, but it's important. On my blues for two. I mean, on my last lesson, I did a lesson on blues, and I made a slight mistake. I'm going to correct that on my next lesson, my next Hump Day Lesson Day. Maybe before, but at least I will correct it by then. Okay, just a mistake. I was talking about something in D that was supposed to be D down to the note below D and the note below that. And I got confused and thought that note below D. No. See, I got confused already. I was talking about B and the note below it and the note below that. And I mistakenly thought of D when I was supposed to think of B. And I said B, C sharp, C. but that's would be D, C sharp, C. B is B, A sharp, A. Dumb mistake, but it changed the truth of what I was saying into not being accurate at the time. So I've got to correct that. I meant to say D, A. No, I meant to say A. I meant to say B, A sharp, A. And I said B, C sharp, C. I goofed. I played it right, but I said the wrong notes. So I have to correct that. The note below B is A sharp, not C sharp. C sharp is a whole step above B, which is a half step below D. The note below B is A sharp, and then below that is A. So I meant B, A sharp, A, not B, C sharp, C. That would make no sense in the context of it. All right. So I will have that corrected verbally there. I will correct that. I will, and then I'll do a lesson on the Steve Vai solo. Love it. And then to I don't know, to get it, you can't, at least to me, it's not note for note, literally, like I heard every single note, because I do, but you hear it in groups and you hear it in patterns too. You don't just have to know every note. If you know the pattern, you can play it without hearing it, every single note one at a time. You know, that's this lick. Oh, okay, I see what he's doing. And then hear it and then do it yourself. And then, but at the same time, you have to hear all the notes or you're going to play the notes wrong. So it's a combination of direct hearing each note and just getting the gist of it by lick. You just not just one or the other. If you know what I mean. If you had to hear every single note one at a time on that, you'd wear your tape out or your CD, and you'd take you a year to do it. But if you know what he's doing, but just have to say, but what was that note there? Oh, that was the this. Okay, I'll do it like that. Then you actually get you can save time, but still get every note right. If that makes any sense. I don't know, you know, then cool, because that's cool to make sense. Okay, so I'm on the, oh yeah, take this out here. I'm on the D string now. Someone said an interesting thing to me a long time ago. Just somebody hanging around the guitar store in the 80s or something. This dude said, the older dude, so he was wise. Older than me, I was just a kid. But he said, you know, a lot of the reason why music improved in guitar over the decades wasn't just the players, it was also the string quality, the quality of the strings that they had at any particular era and time. Like when Jimi Hendrix played in the 60s, they didn't have as good of strings as they have now, for instance. So Hendrix was playing on not just older equipment as far as electronics and as far as hardware is on the guitar, but the string making progress hadn't progressed as far as it has today, and the strings were harder to get tone out of. So when Jimi Hendrix went to play, it took more oomph to play what he did than it would today with our strings that we have, because strings technology was not as advanced. If you guys know what I mean, it's like as the strings got made better, people started playing faster too. And it's a very well-known fact, I believe, because I've Googled it and nobody talks about it. You can't validate that on Google very easily. It doesn't talk about it. It doesn't say anything. Doesn't make it wrong though. Google, is Jesus real? Did Jesus really live? Well, you know, Google doesn't know everything. It just knows a lot, and it just knows stuff that you may know stuff it doesn't know too. Whatever. Okay, I'm on the G string now. At least that's what we call it, the D string. Anyway. I'm not going to my mom's dinner or anything like that, or my mom's memorial. My family are really weird and evil. You know, they're really weird and evil. My surviving family is my sister, my cousins, my uncle. I don't want to talk to them. I blocked them all. Or the ones I didn't block don't talk to me, don't call me anyway, so I don't have to block them. I don't like them. They're weird. Or maybe I'm weird and they're not, but that still makes them weird to me. LOL. I don't like them. I love you, Mom, and I cried about it, and I missed you. You know, I've mourned your passing, but I don't need to be with my family. I don't like them, and I think it's mutual. So whatever. I'll call one of them and they'll just either don't answer, or just hang up on me. That's their right. You know, I hang from people too. I block people too. What do you want me to do? You know, what do you want to say? They're all goody two shoe Christian people, and I'm the devil because I am not. Maybe I'm the devil, but maybe that's a good thing. Whatever. We don't get along, so I don't talk to them. Block them all. Hey, call that not transparent, will you? I'm not pulling punches here. I'm telling you guys, whatever. Okay, fifth string now. I've never hired a guitar tech to change my string. I've changed my own string since I was playing 6 months. I never just took my guitar into a guitar store and said change my strings. I'm lazy or incompetent. Never did that. I've always changed my own string. And then as far as setting up guitars, I had to learn myself how to do it. I've never gone into a store and said set my action, set my truss rod. Never. But how did I learn that? Trial and error. And also I wrecked a guitar to learn. I took a guitar. It was an Ibanez, standard shred guitar. And I said, I'm going to learn how to do this from you, but it's going to break the whole thing up. And sure enough, it did. It broke the whole guitar and wrecked the whole thing, but I learned how to set up guitars from that. So it cost one guitar for me to learn all of that, because I had to trial and error it. I had to break things. I had to turn things till they broke, and I had to overdo things and find out what really changes if you do this and what really changes if you do that. And now I know how to do it, but it cost me a guitar to learn that. Fair enough, right? All right, now we're on the I'm doing this right. Yeah, I'm doing this right. Yeah, I'm on the fifth string now. What's the number after 4? The trick question. I'll give you a riddle. What's the number after 4? 4.1. See, I didn't say it had to be a whole number. That's actually an original math trick. I just thought of that, actually. I did not think of that from somewhere else. No one else told me that. It's just a thought I had. Oh, like it makes me smart now, right? What's your favorite number? E. Didn't say it had to be a number written out in numbers. E is the base of the natural logarithm. Y equals e to the x means that x equals log y. Log, natural log, ln, L for log and N for natural. But the base of that is E. It's a transcendental irrational constant, but it's not a single digit, and it's not represented usually by its digital representation, such as 2.171818, 2.18281828. It goes on and on and on and on and on. It's usually just called E, which came from the name Euler, who did a lot of work in that number. Euler, the mathematician Leonard Euler, and since the first letter in his last name was E, we got a lot of E. We got E in there. Could be my favorite number. Doesn't have to be 7. Who said it had to be a natural single-digit number? I could say pi, 3.1415925. Okay, that could be my favorite number. It doesn't have to be just the number 4, Or I could say, what's your favorite number? I could say I. Well, I didn't say it had to be a real number. I is an imaginary number. I is a number such that I squared equals -1, which means I equals the square root of -1, which doesn't exist. That's why we call it I for imaginary. It could be my favorite number. I could say I is my favorite number. Tell me why I can't have I be my favorite number. Anyway, whatever. Just chatting. And I didn't think of that idea from anybody else either. That's an original math conundrum. I just thought of. Well, I have thought of it. I didn't just think of it, but I thought of it. Next time somebody says what my favorite number is, I'm going to say, something like square root of e to the pi. That's I to the I. I to the I equals square root of e to the pi, which is 1 over the square root of e to the pi. Wait, no. I to the I equals e to the minus pi over 2, which is 1 over the square root of e to the pi. I could say that my favorite number is e to the minus pi over 2, which is 1 over the square root of e to the pi. My favorite number is 1 over the square root of e to the pi. I could say that. It's still a number. It could still be my favorite. It's my choice. You said my favorite, didn't say someone else's favorite. Okay, fair enough. Okay, I'm on my last string here, getting 2. All right, like it? Which means I do. All right, last string. Well, it's the first. I'm just doing the first one last. I don't know. Let's go with this. There we go. All right. Actually, I can do this. One thing I did that's cool, I think, I have 3 guitars with 3 different whammy bars, and they're all the same model of whammy bar. I just switch them once in a while, just for variety, just to get something different. You know, I switched all the whammy bars around a little bit ago. Why not? You know, why they all work on the guitars? Maybe a different whammy bar will give a guitar a different vibe. You know, it has to. It's not the same whammy bar. It's the same model, but the different physical whammy bar. So that could help something. Or hurt something, but I'm hoping it'll help it. Okay, this last string here. Okay. My dad always said 2 things about me that are good. You know, and he only said those 2 things, but he said them over and over and over again. Well, not really, but he said them multiple times. He would say, I've never seen anyone do math like my son Jim, referring to me. And he would say, my son Jim has excellent hand-eye coordination. I've got good hand-eye coordination. He always said. I can say the words speed, coordination, and dexterity. I'm smart and literate. LOL. Okay, get the string in here. And he didn't have to say that. He didn't walk around like he thought he had to say things about me that are good. I never, you know, he said what he meant. You know, I got that quality from him, a lot of it, at least, I think. He didn't, you know, if he said something, that's just what he meant. That's what he meant. You didn't have to go, well, what do you really think? He wasn't like that. Okay, let's get this last string in. All right. So 2 for Halen Saturdays is coming up. Love to just tell you what I'm going to do, but let's just keep it a surprise. Two for Halen Saturdays, and now I have the Friday Jack, and I have button up Mondays. I have blues for Tuesdays, and I have pump day, lesson day for Wednesdays. Okay, and that's all conveniently little trash. All the strings, and plus it zips them up so they don't just go flying out, you know. And then zip it up, and you got trash. Okay, now I'm basically, the strings are on, but let's watch me, or at least let me do this here. Tighten them up a little bit and just do a little bit of, not tuning maybe, but just roughly getting it, you know, ready to be tuned at least. That was loose. Tighten these a little bit. Tighten it up. Using the whammy bar to stabilize the bridge, we'll put like a eraser in there. I mean, not an eraser like a person, but like a rubber eraser. But I just hold the whammy bar level, you know. That's the trick. What do you want? You know, and then just tighten it up so it kind of stays in that position a little bit better than it might if you didn't hold a whammy bar there. I'm holding the whammy bar so the bridge is level as I tune a little bit. It's just, no one told me that. I just thought of it. Wasn't that great? Wow, he had a thought. Wow, it's amazing. And when you let it go and it doesn't move, then you've basically got the right tension for a trick. Never mind. Yep, it's basically level. I just tune it till it's somewhat level and then let it go because it's level. See? Level, basically level bridge. And then you're good to just, I'll leave the whammy bar on a little bit maybe. A little bit more fine tuning here. No, maybe a little tighter because it's not quite as level as I want it right now. Not too tight. Okay, that's pretty good. I tuned my guitar. I set strings on the guitar. Love you guys. Peace, love, and rock and roll.